Hey y'all, I'm watching a ball of a different type drop. It's done its job for, I guess, the whole decade. Old sun taking a dip behind the horizon here on New Year's Eve. Wish y'all all a happy and prosperous New Year. I had the afternoon off ahead of tomorrow and get some things prepared for growing season, not too far around the corner. Had a buddy let me borrow one of those drip torches, and I thought maybe this old pasture was dry enough, look at it, to burn. And I worked on it all day. Just got a little patch here and there, but it's still pretty green here in Texas. But, I don't reckon I'm gonna go this far back with the garden anyway, but kind of wanted to freshen up the vegetation out here, and burning's a good way to do it. But he works for the fire department. He said he'd be on standby. Didn't need him this time. Got a little smarter about this pasture burning since, a couple of years ago or last year. Like to caught the whole thing on fire. It is what it is. Kind of felt like that old boy in the Old Testament, Absalom, trying to get attention. I think he was after Joab. Y'all remember the story? He said his barley field's on fire because he kept ignoring him, but he paid attention then. I didn't get nobody's attention today, but this one, I guess. Sissy's doing good. The pups have went to wandering a little bit, so for their own good, we've got them in the backyard there behind that cyclone fence. They've got enough room to move around, and they're happy. They're going on 6 months old, almost as big as their mama, but they're doing fine. These dogs don't know what to think about this tilled up ground. Got the first break on it in the last couple of days. Got a little bit more to do. I'm going to go ahead and go on out past it right there to the line. I think we was at about 100 foot last year and pulled a good mess of purple hull peas off of it. So we're going to extend it out about another 100 foot. See what we can do. Kind of excited about spring. Here about 3 weeks we'll have some turkeys on the place. We'll give a hand at raising some of those bourbon reds. Been doing the research and got a good spot for them over here on the left. Of course, they can mix with chickens, but kind of want to keep them in a more controlled environment on some fresh grass and all. And I think that's what we'll do over here. Jordan and I have been taking a gander at it today. New decades are coming, y'all. Hope y'all are plans to be safe tonight for sure. I know there'll be a lot going on this evening, but I imagine I won't probably take in the exact number or the time. It's funny how watched that clock is tonight, isn't it? Of all times. Well, chickens are after the dog food, and Sissy ain't having that. They like that dog food. At 20%, 22% protein, they like to peck on it a little bit. Don't know what's coming next year, but it's coming right on. Hope all of us are here to see it. There's a lot of us, and a few fans even. I got word that not going to see the new year. Miss Kelly Templeton up Dallas Way, historian, was a fan of the page. Might have seen her comment along the way. Got word that she passed here the last few weeks. Hated to see that. But, there's losses every year, so I guess we ought to be thankful every moment that we're not one of them. Looking forward to seeing January 1, 2020. Lord willing. Unknown. Heard an old rancher come in the other evening and tell me about a story he'd heard about an old cowboy talking about unknown. Said he's coming back from Kansas after selling a herd of cattle back in the, back in that Wild West, 1800s. He'd come back to Oklahoma, stopped at a little watering hole of a town, had him a few drinks, left his horse tied up out front. He went to leave, and his horse was gone. Yeah, he didn't know what to do. He got angry, walked back in the little old saloon there, and took out both of his revolvers, shot up the place, made a big ruckus, and hollered out that if they didn't get his horse back to him, by the time he walked back outside, that he was going to have to do what he did in Texas. Yeah. Everybody kind of scrambled. Old boy walked outside, and lo and behold, there his horse was tied back to the hitching post. Whoever took it had second thoughts after hearing that. Well, he paid his tab, gave him a little extra for the damage, mounted up on that old horse, He's just about to ride off, and old hand had seen the whole thing. Said, "Sir, excuse me, can I ask you something?" He said, "What's that?" He said, "If they hadn't brought your horse back, you said you was going to do what you did in Texas. What'd you do in Texas when that happened?" He said, "I walked home." Sometimes the unknown ain't as scary as we think it is it? Just have to keep barreling at it. I know most of the things we worry about never happen anyway, that old saying goes. And I've sure seen that to be true. We'll put the old behind this evening. All of us like a good, fresh, clean start, don't we? I guess we'll get that tomorrow for a new decade, 2020. Shoot, I thought we'd be in space cars by now, didn't y'all? Any of y'all 80s folks, or longer back. But the world just keeps on moving. And the chickens are still pecking. I got too many roosters, I think. These old hens ain't ready to breed about another 2 weeks, but them roosters are wearing these few that are out. They'll make it right on. Well, I'm going to go in here and see what Jordan's up to. And we're ready for a New Year's fair tomorrow. Got some pork chops and do some cabbage. And I'm going to go the southern tradition. I'm not going to do black-eyed peas. I'm going to do purple hull peas. I got plenty of them. They black-eyed enough, ain't they? Got the little old greenhouse up. You'll see that. Hadn't got my plastic on it yet. Springtime's coming. Well, I've rambled enough. Let me check off, say howdy to y'all, and really hope all of you have a good New Year. Well, where'd it go? Here, we'll start right here. There's Miss Kathy. How are you this evening? Kimberly saying Happy New Year. Let's see, there's Miss Maria. She's off to work. She said, "No rest for the wicked." There's Miss Linda. Well, things are just cutting up. Poor old rooster getting them crazy. There's Miss Cherie. How are you, sweetheart? Out in Zavala way. I think she's working this evening. There's Kathy. Happy New Year to you. Let's see. There's Kent and Jessica Graham. Howdy to you. Happy New Year. I think y'all are coming up this weekend. Say howdy to the crew. I think I got all their names right, but if I'm missing one, it's going to be a mess, so I'm not going to try. Miss Debbie's checking in. Yes, greenhouse is coming together. They had one, Miss Debbie did, that they didn't need. And we thought we'd put it to use up here. Next step is some plastic, right? There's Miss Grace. Jeannie Lawson Brill saying Happy New Year. There's Carolyn Fuller. Yes, ma'am, you're welcome for the Christmas card. They went out a little late, but went out just the same. There's Mr. Roy checking in. Oh, yeah, I guess I'm seeing your question now, Debbie. I guess you see there. Yeah, we'll stay safe. Hoping all the fireworks don't give them too much of a mess this evening. And puppies already have their spot underneath that house, and they'll be fine. David saying Happy New Year to you, my friend. My old buddy Donald White, how are you? Happy New Year to y'all. There's Miss Linda and Stephen. All right. I think I got everybody rattled off there, but if you watch later, just know Happy New Year blessings to you. How's that? Y'all have a good evening. Be safe, and we'll see you on the flip side, I guess. Be the light. Talk to y'all later.